Hi there, I'm Anne from the Professional Bookkeepers Academy. Our vision is to empower business owners around their finances by ridding the world of bad bookkeeping habits. The reason we focus on bookkeeping, businesses can't grow without having their finances right, and nobody can get your finances right if the bookkeeping isn't being done correctly. So in this video, we are going to look at 7 ways that bad bookkeeping is ruining your life. Number 1, you wait until the weekend to do your invoicing. It's the weekend. You've had a hard week. You want to relax. You want to go out with your family. The last thing you want to do is sit at your computer and start working on your invoices. This makes you feel terrible, so of course you do the things you want to do instead. But now everyone is screaming for money. Your spouse is yelling that the mortgage payment is due. Your suppliers are threatening to cut you off because you haven't paid your bills. And you can't call your customers to ask for money because you haven't even sent them the invoice yet. So what can you do instead? How about doing your invoices on the go? Bring an iPad with you. When you get a break, you take your tea break, you take your lunch break, sit down and do an invoice for whatever work you performed that morning. Maybe that's not practical for you, but how about using the voice memo on your phone? You can record the activities that you did that morning. You can email it to yourself, better yet again, to your bookkeeper, and have them produce the invoice for you. Or at least if you're sending it to yourself, you'll have all the details, so you're not trying to rack your memory for what did you do, and you'll have enough detail there so that when you do get an opportunity, you can just sit down and do your invoices. Or the best one yet is really to set aside time. Set aside time during the week, have that this is my invoicing time. Schedule time, maybe it could be first thing Monday morning. I'm trying to avoid Fridays because I feel like that has that end of week feeling. If you try, but any other day of the week that you think is practical, just schedule time, and that is your sacrosanct time for doing your billing. Number 2, not following up on outstanding debts. That's like just letting your hard work flow down the drain, because unfortunately sending the invoice out is often not enough for certain customers. Some will need a reminder and some will require a statement. So when you start running low on money and you're now ringing around, what you do is you go for the quick wins. The people that owe you the most money are the ones you chase because that's going to make the biggest difference to your bank account. But then you ignore all these smaller amounts and you don't get those. And that's going to be a huge problem. You've done the work, but you're not getting the payments. And if someone says they need a statement, and often, especially commercial customers will require a statement before they'll pay because they have an accounts department that's matching everything up. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, give me strength. I don't have time to gather all that information. So what can you do about it? You've got to make it easy on yourself to follow up. One-off customers are easy. You should be able to just resend them the invoice, hopefully by email. You've got to be able to send statements. Many customers will only pay if you send statements. That's definitely true of corporate customers. Let's say anyone with an accounts department will definitely be looking for a statement from you. But even people without an accounts department, people that want to pay you, but they forgot. But if you send a statement, that's a reminder. And when you send statements regularly, if you have a set day, the end of the month, the last day of the month, the first day of the month, where you send your statements, that will result in money flowing in. But they have to be easy to generate. If it's more than a couple of clicks to send your statements, then you know it's not going to happen. Number 3, you are using spreadsheets to run your accounts. The trouble with that is you're likely the only person who can follow that system. And now trust me, I love spreadsheets. I have spreadsheets for everything in my life. I even have one for my Christmas decorations. But the trouble with using spreadsheets for your accounts, it means that no one can help you. You'll have to do everything yourself. You won't be able to delegate. Another thing to look at, are you using something like Microsoft Word to generate invoices? The end result might look nice, but there's so many issues with this. I bet for a start, you probably created this fancy template. It's maybe not very flexible, and then you're probably doing a copy paste or a save as. How many times have you forgot to change something vital like an invoice number, a VAT rate, an amount? Or even if you're using Excel, it's still taking you longer than it should, and spreadsheets are error prone. I love collecting spreadsheet errors. One of my favorites, JP Morgan Chase lost $6 billion in a spreadsheet error incident. Think of all the experts they've got on staff. So what can you do about it? Use a proper accounting software. Remember, spreadsheets are not accounting software. That's like you trying to write your own accounting software in a spreadsheet. Make sure you're using online accounting software so that you can collaborate with your employees, your bookkeeper, and your accountant. Number 4, you don't take care of your receipts. Are you a bit slapdash with your receipts? Do you sometimes lose them? Do you have them everywhere? Are they in your pockets, in your handbag, on the dashboard of your van? Are they all over your dining room table? Would you treat your money like that? You're literally throwing money in the bin. It's a double whammy if you're VAT registered. First, you lose out on the VAT you could have reclaimed, and then you miss out on claiming those items as business expenses, which means that you end up paying more tax than you need to because your profit is falsely higher. If you're being all smug, thinking all my invoices are on email or I download them from my supplier's website, guess what? If you don't actually download them or you lose them in your inbox, it's the same result, throwing money away. So, what can you do about it? Get receipt capturing software. You will never have to manage paperwork again. Email the invoices to your receipt capturing software as soon as they come in from your supplier. For paper receipts you get in the post or for when you're out and about, you can snap those with the receipt capturing app. For high volumes of paper invoices, you can put those in a sheet feeder scanner and upload those to your receipt capturing software. You can reclaim the spaces in your home, your inbox, and your brain. Number 5, you don't use accounting software. Not using accounting software is likely one of the most inefficient things you can do in your business. It means you're wasting time on spreadsheets, notebooks, bits of paper. It starts out easy, but that quickly becomes unwieldy. And maybe you're thinking, all this talk about bookkeeping and accounting, that has nothing to do with you because you have an accountant. Accountants are for compliance, mainly your year-end returns. They may also do your VAT, your payroll, your RCT, but they are not going to manage your quotes, your invoicing, following up on payments due, tracking the profit on your jobs, tracking your monthly profitability. That sort of thing all falls to you. And also, your accountant will request the information from you. Gathering it is still your job, and as we've seen, that can be a big part of the process. So what can you do about it? You can invest in cloud accounting software and training. The training is the critical piece here. We've all used systems where we know that we're only scratching the surface. We're using maybe about 10%, and correspondingly, we're not getting the benefits from that system. If you invest in the training, you will make sure that is tailored to your business, that you are getting maximum value from that system. Accounting software is literally the engine of your business. It drives all of your processes, and it is hands down the quickest win you can get in your business in terms of efficiency. Firstly, you've got an easy, useful method to create a quote or a sales invoice. When you create your sales invoice or quote, you can directly email that to your customer straight from within your accounting software and have a record of it. Meaning if the customer requests copies, or if you want to go back and see what you charged them the last time, or it's a similar customer and you want to see, can I base my new quote on that previous quote, it's really easy to find it. But the real beauty of accounting software is that it populates everything else that you might need. There is no duplication of effort. Once you create An invoice for your customer, that creates a record for your customers as regards customer statements. It shows on your collections report, so you know who to chase up for money. It shows on your VAT report. It lets you see your profit. It shows on your sales analysis. Who's the best customer? Who's the worst? What's your best product lines or your best services? Similarly, for your purchases, it's a great negotiating tool because you can see exactly how much you've spent with each supplier and bring that information with you to your next meeting. It also will show you what are your biggest costs. Are there things that you're spending money on that maybe you don't need? You could cut that down and keep that money for yourself. It'll show you if you're making a profit on each project or on each job. Make sure you choose cloud accounting software so that you can access it on the go. You don't want your accounts to be trapped on one computer that only one person is able to access. When you use cloud or online accounting software, it means it can be accessed from any internet connected device. You don't have to be in a special location to access it. Cloud accounting software also means you can share the same data source with the relevant people in your business. People like your bookkeeper. That means you can collaborate on this task with your bookkeeper. They can complete things like the bank reconciliations, reconciling your debtors before emailing out customer statements. They can reconcile and file your VAT returns. Using a system means you leverage your actions. You only have to do each transaction once, and it populates all the places it needs to go. For example, you put in a sales invoice, you record a payment for that invoice, that will update your VAT, your customer statements, your debtors list, it will update your bank accounts. You don't have to keep repeating information across multiple documents and spreadsheets. Accounting software analyzes your data in myriad different ways, giving you all the information you need, but without additional work on your part. Information like how much profit did you make last week, last month, last quarter, last year? What are your sales? How much did you sell and who did you sell it to? What did you spend your money on and who with? Can you cut those costs anywhere? If you're not using a system, it means that you can't delegate, but equally you'll never know where you stand because you will never have a complete picture of what's happening with your business. Number 6, you don't have a bookkeeper. Expert help always pays for itself. I don't mean the bookkeeper in your accountant's office. What I'm talking about here is a bookkeeper that you will work with on an ongoing basis to keep your bookkeeping up to date week by week, month by month. Maybe you've just hired anyone to take care of your bookkeeping without really knowing what their qualifications or skills are. Here's one of my favorite quotes. If you think it's expensive to hire a professional, wait until you hire an amateur. A bad bookkeeper can ruin your business, but a good bookkeeper is an absolute asset to any business. So what can you do about it? Work with a professional collaborative bookkeeper, someone that uses cloud accounting software so that you can easily share the tasks and responsibilities that go along with running your business. Number 7, your accountant has to tell you your profit. You have to wait to find out at your year-end meeting with your accountant what the business earned in profits last year. And it's usually a surprise, and even more of a surprise when you also learn how much tax you need to pay. So what can you do about it? Get the systems in place for bookkeeping. And next year, you'll be looking forward in your business. This allows you to make timely decisions. You can then spend your year-end meeting with your accountant making exciting plans for next year. Next year, you could be celebrating your most successful year. If you're inspired to solve your bookkeeping woes, scan the QR code or click the link to find out where you are in the process and find the best way forward from here.